Hi, I'm Louise and welcome to Yoga for Bitches that want to fight bears in the woods. Today we're going to do something a bit more strength-based. There might be a couple poses in it that you might find a little bit tricky, even with modifications. If that's the case, don't worry about it. There's no prize for doing every pose in a yoga class. Not everything works on every day. Sometimes for standing one-legged balances, I wobble all over the place and I just can't do them some days, so I just leave them out. It's really not a big deal. You can take a rest anytime as well in either child's pose or downward dog, or just have a little seat on your mat. You can always hit pause, you can always back it up, try it again, but just try to have fun. So today we're going to start off in wide-legged child's pose. So if you move onto your mat, I'm not going to move the whole way back so you can see me a little bit better. So knees wide. I like to keep mine as wide as the mat, depending on what's comfortable for your hips. Sit back onto your feet. See how that feels. If that doesn't feel very accessible to you, you can always roll a blanket up, put it between your bum and your feet, but just get a little bit settled. And then we're going to slowly walk our hands out. Try and keep your feet to your bum as much as you can. You should really feel this stretch in the side body and lower back. Hello, Niles. Niles has come to help. All right, yeah, go sit down. Go sit down. So settling into this, you root your hands down into the mat, push evenly. Try and keep your bum to your heels as well. Just take a nice deep breath here. On the breath, in the in-breath, feel your whole body lengthen. On your exhale, feel yourself relaxing into the stretch. If you want a little bit extra for your shoulders, you can tense your fingers and push down into your fingertips. Couple more breaths here. And on your next inhale, we're going to walk our hands over to the right. So chest towards your right thigh. You can feel that compression of your body next to it. If you want a little bit more, you can reach with your right hand to try and hold your left hand. Feel that side stretch on the left side with every inhale. And relax into it with every exhale. Try and keep your hips even, so towards your heels. Thank you, Niles. And on your next exhale, we're going to walk our hands over to the left side. Reach out. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, settle in. Feel that stretch along the right side of your body. Hips back. Another breath in. And out. Walk your hands back to the center. We're going to walk ourselves up to our tabletop position. So nice square position with a neutral spine. Tuck your pelvis a little bit. Tuck your bum. Pull up on your core to activate. Hands into the mat, shoulders and wrists on top of each other. And remember, spread your fingers down onto the mat with your index fingers pointing to the front of the room. And then pull back just a little bit like you're trying to grip the mat. You'll feel the whole hand activate. We're just going to start with some circles. So forward a little bit and around. Just to stretch the wrists. Try and keep the palms pressed evenly into the mat. And move your hips a little bit. You can start to exaggerate the whole motion as we go around. If you can come forward over your wrists, keeping your hands to the mat, that's great. You're getting an even better stretch. Let's switch directions. It's good to have a nice wrist stretch before classes, especially ones that might ask a little bit more of your wrist to avoid any pain or injury. And one more circle around. And back to the center. Hands out to the side. And let's just move back and forth a little bit. Try and keep your whole palm planted on the mat. And just kind of wiggle back and forth. Go slightly over the wrist. Really feel that stretch in the forearm. Now take your left hand, put it back, fingers facing forward. Right hand, fingers facing back. And circles again. Try and keep the palm on the mat. If it comes up, that's fine. This is a little bit intense. If it feels horrible, you can go back to either the normal circles that we did with the hands facing forward or the sideways ones. This one takes a while, but when it starts to feel good, it feels really good. Switch sides. So left hand back, right hand forward. Just circle around. You're moving the hips as well. It helps warm you up a little bit. And back to center. So tabletop. Hands face forward. Index fingers pointing to the top of the mat. Grip the mat with your fingertips. Root down with your knees, the tops of your feet. Pull up a little bit on your core. And we're going to inhale, chest up, bum up, cow pose. And exhale, round cat pose. Another one, inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. You can start to move in circles or however feels nice for you to try and get some motion in the body. It's nice sometimes just to put on your favorite song and just do this until the song runs out. Really helps warm up your spine, keep it healthy, keep it flexible and strong, which will actually change your life, especially if you're on your feet a lot. One more cow and one more cat. All right, we're going to dive into the strength work. So I want you to root your left hand into the mat. Take your left toes, put them back, curl your toes under, and you can kind of rock back and forth a little bit. We're going to add a little bit more to that. You can come up onto your right fingertips, find your balance, right arm out. If this is enough for you, stay here. If you want to get a bit more strength work and core work in, lift your back toes. You can either point your toes, or flex your foot so your heel goes back towards the back of the room. Whichever works best for you. Try and keep that core engaged. And you can either stay here or we're going to go for a crunch. 1, knee to elbow. Remember to round your back like cat. 2, bring it in. Exhale out. Inhale in. Exhale out. One more breath. Hold it, and exhale. Hands and knee down to the mat. Hopefully that wasn't too much. Have a little bit of a wiggle out. And let's move on to the next side. So right toes back, curl them under, kind of wiggle back and forth a little bit, get that calf a little bit of a stretch, push that heel towards the back of the room. Come up onto your left fingertips. If that's enough for you, just stay here. Otherwise, you can bring your left arm up, try and keep it level with your ear, straight ahead. If you want some more, bring up your right leg and hold. Feel that body shake. That's your muscles working. Try and keep that core engaged. And if you're ready for the crunches, we're going to go for an inhale, open it up, exhale, crunch. Inhale, open it up, exhale, crunch. One more, spread up, reach. In, round your back, and hands to the mat. Back to tabletop. Let's do one more. Inhale to cow and exhale, cat pose. Good job. Those are actually really fun once you get the hang of them. If you hate me for that, then I'm sorry. Moving on a little bit. Hands into the mat. Elbows and elbows, wrists, and shoulders all in line. We're going to tuck our toes under and sit back a little bit towards your bum. Just nice and slow. Now come forward. Now when you come back this time, we're going to lift up a little bit just so our knees are hovering off the ground. So just a tiny bit. You can round your back a bit like cat and try and hold it. You're going to feel that shake a little bit. Hold it, hold it, and exhale up into downward facing dog. Remember to keep your knees bent. Try and keep that belly to thigh contact. It doesn't matter if your heels touch the mat or not. Bent legs, always stretched legs. Root down in your hands. Open up those armpits. Reach your bum towards the sky. Full body stretch. You're probably starting to sweat already. That's good. Another inhale. And exhale back to your knees. Good job. So we're going to move on with a little bit more strength as well. You have two options here. We're gonna come into a plank pose. So, if you want to get into the plank pose, you just scoot your knees back a little bit so they're a little bit back behind your hips. Got two options here. You can stay on your knees. So scoot your feet back a little bit, knees behind your hips, shoulders and wrists stacked on top of each other. You can hold like this. Or if you want a little bit more, tuck your feet, come up into your plank. Whichever one you're in, if you're on your knees or up on your toes, look forward in front of you. Keep that tailbone tucked, core engaged. Feel that shake. Just 3, 2, 1, and knees down. How's that working for you? Don't worry, there's more. I'm gonna try some press-ups now. So again, you can start off on your knees. For the first round, I usually do them on my knees and then I move on to on my toes later. We'll see how that holds up while I'm talking. So for the press-ups, you're going to grip the mat with your fingers. Remember to pull back a little bit so you're pressing the palm and the fingertips into the mat. Come forward, forward, so your shoulders are actually over your wrists. Look forward, bend your elbows towards your ribs, and go down, and then push back up. Very good. Let's try one more. Forward, forward, shoulders over wrists, elbows grazing your ribs. Exhale down, inhale up. We're going to add those in a little bit randomly through the flow. You're welcome to try it up on your toes. If you want to keep it down on your knees, there's no shame in that game. I do it quite a lot. Okay, so let's go back up to our plank for a second. Tuck your feet, tuck your toes under, full body, and lift up to downward facing dog. This might feel a bit of a resting pose after all those planks. Take an inhale with your right leg. Reach your toes towards the ceiling. Keep pressure in both of your hands evenly as you reach your leg towards the sky. Bend your knee. Bring it towards your chest. And we're going to come forward like we did in plank and try and touch our knee to our elbow. Just as close as you can get. And then back up. Another one forward. Knee to elbow. Exhale up. One more. Knee to elbow. Try and hold it. And exhale. Bring your foot to the front of the mat. If you needed a little bit of help getting there, just use your hand to help your foot to the front of the mat. Drop your back knee. Hands on either side of the foot. Chest forward. Take a deep breath in and out. A lot of work today. Inhale, arms up above your head. Squeeze your left bum cheek, really activate that glute. Try and keep your knee and ankle stacked. Don't go forward over your ankle. Another breath. If you want to look up, test your balance. And exhale, hands down. Heel to the right heel into the mat. Right toes up. If you need to keep your leg bent, that's perfectly fine. Try and keep that belly to thigh contact for your half split. Take a deep breath in. Wiggle your toes towards you. Try and keep your back nice and flat. Nice, easy stretch. On your next inhale, you're going to plant your foot and your left hand and reach up to the sky. Easy twist. If you need to put your back knee down, that's fine. If you're up here, push your heel back towards the rear of the room. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Right hand down. Step your feet back, downward facing dog. Take a nice deep breath in and sigh it out. You ready for the next side? Inhale, left leg up. Reach your toes towards the ceiling. Hands grip the mat, even pressure. Feel that stretch. Bend your knee. Round your back like cat. Exhale, forward. Try and touch your knee to elbow. Inhale, up. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, up. Exhale, knee to elbow. Try and hold it. I'm shaking too. It's actually really tough when you start moving slowly. Another inhale and exhale. Bring the foot forward. Drop your back knee. Plant your hands and look forward in an easy runner's lunge. Take a nice breath to let it settle. And on your next inhale, circle your arms up. Look up towards your fingers. Engage that right side of the body by squeezing your right bum cheek. If your toes are curled under, you can use your toes to help push, to help activate that leg. If you want to keep your foot, if you want to put your foot down on the mat, if that's more comfortable, push into the top part of your foot. Find what works for you. Another breath in. And exhale, hands down. Inhale, left heel into the mat, left toes up. Try and keep belly to thigh contact, hips back. Pull your left hip back to try and even it out a bit. Flat back. Another breath here. And on the exhale, plant your foot, plant your right hand, curl your toes under on your right leg, reach up, easy twist. Chest facing the left side, shoulders stacked. If you need to drop your knee, that's fine as well. Try and keep your knee close to your body. Another inhale. And exhale, left hand down. We're going to step our feet back. So if you want to be in a plank on your knees, make sure your knees are slightly behind your hips. Hands gripping the mat, back nice and flat. If you want to go for up on your toes, we're going to do 2 push-ups again. So inhale, look forward. Elbows next to the ribs. And inhale up. One more. Exhale down and inhale up. Raise your hips up, downward facing dog. If you went for those push-ups not on your knees, good job, well done. The easiest way to build strength for push-ups is that slow lower, especially on your knees. That's how most yogis start out with chaturangas. If you want to take a quick break, you can just pop yourself into child's pose and reach forward, catch your breath. Next breath, come back up into downward facing dog. Again with the right leg. Inhale, right foot to the sky. On your exhale, bend your knee, round your back, bring your knee towards your chest, look forward, forward, pop your foot in between your hands. If you only get to here and you need to bring it forward a little bit, that's perfectly fine. Look forward, runner's lunge. And on your exhale, you're going to drop your back foot so your back foot is parallel across the mat. Toes facing the left side of the mat. And you want to look at your right foot and your left foot and see if you've got like a heel to arch alignment. Keep this knee bent. And we're going, on our inhale, we're going to inhale our arms up and into warrior two. So our right knee is over our right shin, toes facing forward. You should be able to see your toes. And you're going to be working your leg to open up this hip a little bit. Try and keep that knee up. Back foot pushing into the knife edge of your foot. Equal weight in both feet. Arms out to the side, torso, chest over your hips. We don't want to be surfing, we don't want to be leaning back. Nice and centered. Tuck your tailbone a little bit, try not to stick your bum out very much. Feel that shake. Warrior two. One more breath. Inhale, and on the exhale, you're going to take your elbow to your right elbow to your right knee. Lean forward a little bit. So you want to be leaning this way, like you're going to go forward off the mat, not forward like this, towards the top of the mat. Use your elbow to push your knee open. Right, left arm reaches towards the ceiling. Really tough poses right now, guys. Hang on. Another inhale. And exhale, hands down to the mat. Come up onto your left toes. You can put your left knee down. And we're going to open up into a supported side plank. So bring your right leg back. Your toes should be facing the right side of the mat across the horizontal across the mat. Shoulders stacked. Just lost my balance there. If you're having a little trouble with balance, you can always kick your left leg out a bit like the kickstand. You want to feel like your toes all the way to your fingertips, a nice side stretch. This is why we warmed up our wrists, because we're using them quite a lot today. Another inhale. Exhale. Hands down. Both knees to the mat in this supported plank. We're going to exhale all the way down to the mat for the count of 3. So look forward, take a deep breath in, come forward and exhale. 1, 2, 3. Whole body down to the mat. You can put your arms out to the side like an airplane. You can make a little stack here, rest your forehead on, and just wiggle your hips out a little bit. Take a nice relax here. Another breath in and out. Look forward, palms under your shoulders, forehead to the mat. We're going to do some baby cobra. So on your inhale, you're going to bring your chest up, shoulders back. Feel all the muscles along your back activating as you push your pelvis into the floor. And exhale down. You should still be able to breathe very comfortably in this pose. If you can't breathe, you've gone too far, back out. Another one in. Shoulders back down, away from your ears. Back muscles working. Lower body pressing into the mat. And exhale down. Try one more. This time we're not going to use our hands and see if you can get the same height. So pelvis into the mat, tops of the feet pushing into the mat. Hands a little bit off the mat. And inhale, shoulders up. You can wiggle your fingers a little bit. And exhale down. Should really feel all those back muscles moving and working. So push yourself back up to tabletop. Back onto your knees. And take a deep breath and exhale into downward facing dog. Got the left side to do. Hands push evenly into the mat. Hips to the sky. On your next inhale, raise your left leg up. Toes point towards the sky. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, round your back, knee to chest. Come forward. Hand in, foot in between your hands. Look forward, runner's lunge. Take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, drop your back heel so your right toes are pointing to the right side of the mat. Push down into your whole foot, heel to arch alignment. Inhale, windmill your arms up, warrior two. Again, knee over ankle, using those muscles to keep your leg. You don't want your knee falling inwards. You want to open it up to the side. Tailbone tucked, both thighs working, both legs working, full lower body engagement. Open your shoulders, open your arms out to a T. Now you're working your full body. Take a deep breath in. And sigh it out. Try and sink a little bit lower. Another breath in. And exhale. Elbow to knee. Left arm up towards the sky. Keep your tailbone tucked. Bring your hips towards the middle. You want to be reaching your body up towards the front of the mat. Feel that shake. Your legs are really working now. Look up at your hand if you can. Wiggle your fingers. And exhale. Hands down to the mat. Feet back, either in full plank or on your knees. I'm going to do it in full plank this time. So we're going to do the count of 3 for the lower. Inhale. Look forward. Exhale. Elbows to ribs. 1, 2, 3. Take a nice breath. Put your hands on top of each other. Make a little pillow. Rest your forehead. We're going to move into locust pose next. So we're going to try a couple different hand positions. Just see what works best for you. You can start, first one, palms facing back towards the back of the mat. Forehead down. Pelvis into the mat. Tops of the feet into the mat. On the inhale, you're going to reach your arms backwards. Lift up your chest and shoulders like you're flying. Feel free to stay here or start to lift your feet as well. Feel that whole back working. Pelvis to the mat. Look forward. Take another deep breath in. And exhale. Let it all go. Have a little bit of a wiggle. Always nice to wiggle around a little bit. And let's set yourself up again. This time, we're going to reach behind our back, make a fist, try and draw our knuckles together. Keep your arms bent. You don't want to lock out your elbows. If your hands can't fist together, that's fine, but give it a try. If it feels horrible, just go with your hands back like this again. This just gets a little bit more into the chest and shoulders. So clasp your hands. On the inhale, chest up. Try and keep your hands away from your bum. If you want to lift your legs as well. Neck long. And exhale down. Take a breath, wiggle it all out a little bit. We're going to do one more of those, so pick your hand placement of choice. If you're going for the clasped hands, try and reverse the clasp so it's on the more unnatural side. It's going to feel a bit weird having the other thumb on top, but it's nice to work both sides. I'm going to do that way. So I'm going to reach behind my back, clasp my hands the more unusual way, forehead to the mat, pelvis and feet pushing in, and inhale, up off the mat, lifting my feet, my chest, everything. Hold, hold, I know it hurts. I know it's a tough one, you're sweating really badly. And exhale down. Well done. Well done. Let's push ourselves back into a wide-legged child's pose for a little bit of a rest. Can move around a little bit. Rock your hips back and forth. Reach your hands forward. Find a moment of stillness. Take a deep breath in and out. Exhale. Curl your toes under. Bend your knees. Come up into downward facing dog. We're gonna have a little fun now, jumping into a squat. If you want to try the jump, I'll go through that with you. If you don't want to try the jump, if you're just a bit like, nah, I don't think that's in me today, you can just slowly walk your feet forward to the outside of your hands. So, start in downward facing dog, root down into your hands, bend your knees, load your springs, inhale, exhale, hop forward into a squat. If that didn't work for you, that's fine. Hopping forward and back in the mat takes a little while, but sometimes it's just fun to try things. If you're struggling a little bit, just come to the top of the mat, feet out, toes towards the edge of the mat, hands down on the mat, and slowly sink down into your squat. If this isn't working for you, if your heels don't hit the ground, you can keep your heels up, knees to the inside. If you need to put a block or something under your bum to keep your balance, that's fine. You can even roll up a towel and put it underneath your heels. Just gonna have a little play around. Hands to the chest. If you want to move around a little bit, come up on each heel, or find stillness. I love Malasana. This yogi squat, honestly can't get through a day without it. Okay, so I'm going to have a little play around. You can come down onto your knees and just get comfortable. You're going to have a little play around with crow pose. This is one of those poses that it's quite a fun, accessible balance for beginners because it's not as tricky as it looks. It's just more of being a little bit brave sometimes. If you're not feeling brave, you don't have to worry right now. You can just play around in your squat and just watch the tutorial and save it for a day when you're feeling a bit more brave. So, I'm going to come back into our squat. Elbows to knees. Take a deep breath in. Look forward, nice flat back. And when you exhale, you're going to put your hands down on the mat and start to come up. Start to stand into like a forward fold. Hands on the mat. Grip your fingers a little bit. And we're going to bend the elbows and put the knees on the backs of the triceps. If you want to stay here, keep those knees in contact with the triceps and just practice rocking back and forth. Of course, obviously, as soon as your shoulders start to go over your wrists, you're a bit like, oh my God, I'm going to fall. You're not, because your feet are still on the ground. Try and look about 12 inches in front of you. You don't want to look down, you want to look in front. So forward, come up onto the heels and back. Come up onto the heels, forward, 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 and back. You can stay there, or if you want to try to get a little bit more into crow, you can put your knees on the backs of your triceps, come forward, lift up one foot, bring it towards your bum, exhale, back down. Come up, knees to triceps, come forward, foot up to bum, exhale down. You will feel a shake. Try and round your back a little bit like you're in cat pose. Keep that compression. You want to sit in a nice little ball. If you want to try both feet off the floor, we're going to come up, knees to triceps, forward, 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 and the feet start to come up. As you notice, I'm looking forward, not down. My hands are gripping the mat. My body's shaking a little bit, but I'm flying. Give that a go, or if you want to just save that for another day, a nice trick is sometimes to put some pillows out in front of you. Once you get over the fear of falling, it usually makes things a lot easier. It's that fear of falling. You're not that far from the ground. I'm not going to lie, I've fallen a million times, but once you get over that fear and you realize that sometimes it's just a matter of face planting into a pillow, it's really not that scary. So if you're finished having a play around, just gonna have a little drink of water. We're gonna move on a little bit. I'm gonna switch directions so you can see me a little bit better. So come back into your squat. Have a nice stretch out. Elbows to knees. And we're going to sit down from our squat. So you can put your arms out in front of you and slowly sink your bum down, or put your hands behind you. Put your bum down. Bring your knees together, feet up. Modified boat pose. If you're in regular boat pose, you can hold on to the backs of your knees, or you can hold your hands out. I'm just going to scoot back just a little bit so you can see a bit more. So if you need to be here with your hands on the mat and your shins towards the ceiling, that's fine. You're going to balance on your bum. Try and use your core. Your hands are out here. And on the next inhale, we're going to go low. Lay it down, back up. So if your hands are here, just come down just a little bit, bend your elbows, come back up. One more. Inhale down, exhale up. Great job. Just plant your hands, scoot your bum back a little bit, and roll down. We're almost done with all the strength work. I think you've built up quite a good bit of strength today, probably nice and warm and a little bit sweaty. So what we're going to do now is we're going to use that same crow shape we used on our hands on our backs. So bring your knees into your chest. You can spread them, make them a little bit wider. Knees towards armpits and arms straight up. Hands like you're going to leave handprints on the ceiling. And we're going to round our back a little bit and bring our knees and triceps together. Try and push the arms into the triceps. Push the triceps into the arms. Your neck and shoulders should be off the ground. you should be shaking a little bit. One more breath in and out. Release. Feet to the mat, knees fall in towards the center. So that's actually the shape that you're making in crow, but it's just laying down. We like to call this dead crow. I guess you'd call it sleeping crow as well, but I think dead crow sounds a little bit cooler. So if you practice this, it'll help build the muscle memory you need to do crow pose as well. So let's try that once again. Knees up. Bring your knees towards your chest. Arms up. Palms facing the ceiling. And inhale, squeeze yourself into a little ball. And hold. Round that back. Use everything. Curl yourself into a little ball. Feel that shake. Feel yourself sweat a little bit. And exhale. Whew. Let go. Knees to the corner edges of the mat, or feet to the edges of the mat. Knees inward. You can windshield wipe your legs a little bit. Loosen up those hips. Oh, just have a nice relax. You've worked very, very hard today. Bring your knees back to the center. Feet back about hip width apart. And you're going to cross your right leg over your left knee. Flex your foot. And you're going to start to bring your knees back. If this is you today, that's fine. That's fine. You can just keep your back flat. You don't want to have to like reach and curl up. Just lay back. Try and bring your foot and knee towards your chest with this knee opening up. This is reclined pigeon. If you need a little bit more, you can put your hands through, pull your shin towards you. But again, back, neck long on the mat, bum, tailbone towards the mat as well. You don't want to be all curled up like this. You want to be just nice and flat. If this is enough for you, stay like this. It's all good. Take another inhale and exhale, foot back onto the ground. Inhale, left foot up, cross it over onto your right knee. Open your knee out to the side and find your edge. Find your space where you're comfortable. I'm going to bring my knees in towards my chest, reach through, hold on to my shin. I have very open hips, so for me, this pose is like relaxing. It's like watching TV and relaxing. For some people, it might feel like a lot of hard work. So if you're just here, that's fine. If you need a little bit more, you can grab the back of your thigh, or you can grab your shin. You can wiggle around a little bit. And exhale, back down. I'm going to take a little twist. So knees together, arms out to a T. Scoot your hips over to the left side and let your knees fall over to the right. You can hold your legs if you like. If you're up here, you can always put a block or something under your knees or a pillow. But just try and find a nice rest. Hips to the mat. You want to twist from above the waist. Try and keep your shoulders even against the mat. Look up towards the ceiling. Excuse me. On your next inhale, knees back up towards the ceiling. Scoot your hips over to the left side, right side, and let your knees fall over to the left. Shoulders on the mat. Chest towards the sky, twist from above the waist. Again, if you need a block or a pillow under your knees, you want to hold on to your knees for a little bit more of a stretch. And just try and relax into the twist. Twist can feel a little intense sometimes because it's slightly harder to breathe, but they're such a good way to help open up the sides of the body and just Keep your torso nice and healthy. Another inhale and exhale. Feet back to the mat. Give yourself a little bit of a wiggle, a nice shuffle. Find comfort. So shoulders under your chest a little bit, neck long, tailbone towards the back of the mat, and put your right leg out, left leg out. Tense everything up, curl your toes, make a fist, scrunch up your face, hold it, and exhale, let it all go. Shavasana, a very, very well-earned rest after that sweaty class. Just let your breathing return to normal. Give yourself permission to do nothing. You can start to wiggle your toes and your fingers. Maybe make little circles with your ankles, with your neck. And on your next inhale, take a really nice big stretch like you just woke up in the morning. And start to come up to seated. I got a little sweaty, my glasses are even steamed up. I hope you really enjoyed that. I hope you leave this class feeling very strong. If some of the poses were a bit of a struggle for you, that's fine. Some of them are brand new to you, and it just takes time and strength to build for some of these poses. But most of all, just have fun with it. Like if you wobble around or you saw me almost fall out of the side plank, that's what's fun about it. Just keep having fun with it. I hope you come back for more classes and have a great rest of your day. Bye.